Hi there, welcome to Scrap and Coffee. In this video I'm going to show you how you can make this little cute gift card holder. So let me show you the gift card holder quick before we start making it. I just made it into a little purse with some straps on it, so you can leave them out if you want to give it to a male. So you can open it up. I used a little magnet for a closure here, but if you have some Velcro, that would be perfect on here. So it just opens up, and I have a little closure here. I didn't do anything with it, it's just loose. You can do a closure there if you want. And then I made a tag that goes into that pocket. I made a window frame here, so you can see the gift card when you open it up. And then I have this tag, and there I put the gift card on there, so you can just take it off and use it. And on the back I just put some patterned paper, and you could put some white cardstock here and make a note to the one who receives it. So that's also a possibility. So it's pretty easy, comes together pretty quick. So I'm going to show you how I do it. So I have a little note with the measurements because I didn't put it on there, but you are going to need several pieces. First you're going to need a big piece that measures 6 inches by 8 3/4, and that's the main piece. Then you're going to need a piece that measures 5 inches by 4 3/8. For the tag you need a piece that's 3 1/8 by 4 5/8. You're going to need a little piece of acetate or some other kind of see-through clear plastic. This measures 2.5 by 3 3/4, and I have 2 strips that are just over 1/4 inch by 7.5 inches. So I didn't score it yet, so that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to get my scoreboard. I'm trying to get it in camera for you. So first these little strips, those are easy. We are going to give them a little score on 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'm going to score it at 7 inch and at 1/2 inch. And because this is really small, what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it at 7 inch, turn it around and score it at 7 inch. So those can go to the side. I don't have to do anything with that tag piece for scoring. Then this piece that was 5 by 4 and what was it, 4 3/8. We are going to make that into a pocket with 1/8 gusset. So I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch and 5/8. I have the 5 inch on top. I'm going to score at 1/2 inch and on 5/8 inch. Then I'm going to turn it around. Now it's with the 4 3/8 on top, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, 5/8 inch. And then just to make it easier for myself, prevent from making any mistakes, I'm going to turn it around and score on this side as well at 1/2 inch and 5/8 inch. So that's that piece. And then the largest piece, I am going to place it on the 6 inch side, and I'm going to score it at 4 3/4. 4 3/4. So it's lying with the 6 inch side, and then 1/8, no, 4 3/4, and then 4 7/8. Yes, sorry, I was in doubt that I didn't write it down correctly, but that's right. I need a 1/8 inch gusset here as well. So then I'm going to turn it around to the 8 3/4 inch side, and I'm going to score it at 2.5. So at 2.5, 2 5/8, and then I'm going to score at 5 7/8. So there are some pretty weird measurements in there, but 5 7/8 and 6 inches. And it's going to lie eventually for me, because I'm right-handed, so that's the easiest for me, with the score lines here on my right side. So that's the scoring on this part. And I'm going to start with assembling the pocket, because we are going to make a window in here. And I'm going to need my ruler. So we have 2 score lines here. It's hard to see on the black. I'm going to line up my ruler, and I have the Tim Holtz ruler, and I have all my the grid in here that I can see pretty easy, so that's really convenient. I'm going to line it up with 1 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to make a pencil mark. I'm going to do the same thing. I have score lines here on the bottom as well. So again, that 1 1/8. On this side, 1 1/8. So actually I'm making a pencil mark 1/2 inch in from the farthest score line. And on this side I have no score lines. I'm going to make a pencil mark at 1/2 inch. So we've created a window now, and we are going to cut that out. You could use your you can use your cutting your paper trimmer, thank you. For this I'm just going to cut it with a utility knife, and I'm just going to do it by hand. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm just putting the blade in there with a little pressure and just pulling my arm back. Don't do it from your wrist, because then you are a higher chance of going off. And on these are pretty little cuts. I will just do it by hand most of the time. If I have to do it on a larger piece, then I would use a ruler. So we've cut that out. This is the bumpy side, by the way, that I'm working on, because that's the side that we are not going to see. So I have that piece of acetate here, and that will fit on there. So I'm going to place some tape around the perimeter. You can do that on your acetate or on your cardstock, that doesn't really matter. I have really small 1/8 inch tape. I was trying it out, and I think it's just a little bit too small for me. I don't think I will order it again, but I can use it on these sort of things, but it's just so tiny. It's not that it's not working, because it's working, but it's just too small to have really a lot of purpose for using. So I'm just going to do it on the cardstock only this time. I'm going to give that a little burnish. I will remove that tape backing. Okay, so now our piece of acetate, and we have to be a little bit careful that we place it on there correct. So I'm just giving it some time. Make sure you cover all your tape, because otherwise if you put something in the pocket, it will catch onto that tape that's showing. That's why often I just choose to put the double-sided tape on the perimeter of the acetate and not on the cardstock, because here I'm pretty close, but I'm fine. Okay, now we need to make some cuts, and I have a white marker here that's a little bit easier to see. So we have score line here, here, and here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this away in a straight line, and afterwards we are also going to angle it a little bit. So I'm going to cut away the score line, trying to see what I'm doing. And then what I will also do is angle this, but you're going to angle it up to the first score line. So we have 2 score lines here, and I'm going to angle it slightly to the first score line, and I'm going to do the same thing here, slightly to the first score line. And normally I would cut from my score line, but in this case that's pretty hard to do, because my scissors will be in the way of the piece will be in the way of my scissors, so I'm just doing it like this for now. So you can also do it in once if you feel confident in what you need to cut away. I'm angling it, I'm cutting it straight here, and I'm angling and cutting it straight. So then you can do it all in once if you're confident in what you need to cut away. So now we can fold on all our score lines, and I'm always a bit doubting on what score line is the easiest to fold on first. I'll just do whatever works for you. So I have that gusset on the 3 sides, and you have a little bit of an opening over here, but that I don't really mind it. So if you do mind it and you have a better way of cutting it, then please do. Just going to lay it down like this because we need to make the big piece first. So I'm just going to put this aside, and now we are going to work on this one. So here we can we also have some score lines, and here I have to be a little bit more careful with how I'm going to show you. So I'm going to use my pencil instead of the white marker. So we have our score line here and here and here, here and here and here, and we are going to cut away. This can go away. We are going to cut away both score lines here and both score lines here, and we are going to do the same thing on the bottom. So I also have a score line here. Maybe I can do that with white because we are going to cut it away. And here. So I'm going to cut away both score lines on the bottom and on the top, up to our second score line here, and we are going to cut away both of these score lines. So I hope you can follow what I'm doing, and we are just going to make straight cuts. And I'm doing this on the bumpy side because it's easier for me to see where that score line goes. And it's pretty hard to see for you, but, and like I said, I'm cutting away the complete score line. So I'm not on the score line, no, I'm just outside of that score line. This is what we end up with, and I place it on the right side. So I have score lines here, and my score lines over here. So now we can fold on the score lines. Yeah, towards the bumpy side, and I'm going to fold on the not on my first but on my second, and also here on my second, because first I'm going to place the pocket in there. Oh, I'm sorry, just really used to working close to my body, and now for filming I have to put it a little bit further away from me. So now we are going to place this pocket in the middle piece here, and we need to stay in between those score lines that we folded on. And I'm going to line it up with the cut edge, and that's why I have that 1/8 of an inch, because then we have that on all 4 sides of that pocket. So just making sure you stay in between that score lines, and then you will have some spacing here, but that's what you want because you want to be able to put a tag in there and pull it out, and this will fold over. So I'm going just using my art glitter glue to construct everything. Put it on all 3 sides of the pocket. Just take your time in placing it in there. Make sure you don't go over the score lines. And if it's a little bit off center, then that's not the end of the world. Then first I'm going to close my glue. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to get in there and give a little bit of pressure. So that's it. And I should have done that first, I think it would have been better, but because now I'm not really able to burnish that fold. So I think it's better to just fold on all your fold lines before you place the pocket, but I'm fine here. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to round all of my corners. This is just a cheap corner rounder. You could use your envelope punch board. There's a corner rounder on there if you have one. So, and now also these score lines need to be folded on. So this will just fold over here and then we can close it up. And I'm going to use a little magnet to keep it closed. And I said it before in the video, these are really small magnets and they're not strong at all. So I'm not going to put a link towards them because I don't think I will be able to find them anyway, but I also don't recommend them for your projects because they're just not strong enough. I'm just putting some, I'm just going to see where I want to have my magnet, and I think about there. Just eyeballing it. Yes, oh, that didn't go as planned. Okay, see if it's in the center. I'm just using some tape to keep it in place. Put the other magnet on top so I know what's the right side. Then and with these little magnets it's always a little bit of a struggle, but eventually I will get there. So now I have the tape facing up, and then I can close this and push down, so now it's stuck to the other side. So that will keep it closed, and it's not really strong. You can see it standing up a little bit. I hope you can see that. To give it that little, make those little purse straps. So that's why they are smaller strips. And we scored on that 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'm just quickly folding on there. And what I will do is just get my bone folder, and I will just rub it against it, and then it will curl up. And maybe that's a little bit too much, but we'll see. And I'm going to keep my tape in place as well, but I'm going to attach it with my art glitter glue. So I folded it like this, and I'm going to place the tape on that side, the glue in this case. And I'm going to stay away about 1/2 inch away from the side, and I'm going to line it up with the top. So this is the front of the piece. And then, because I'm going to make it curl in a way that it doesn't want to stay, I'm going to place some double-sided tape on there just to make sure it stays in place. And I'm really struggling with my tape today, can't find the beginning. There it is. Just make sure you don't put it too close to the edge. Make sure you will cover it with your pattern paper if you do this. And then I am going to make this curl. Let's see that I'm doing this right. Yeah, so again, I'm going to place the tape on the back side. So I fold it that way, and I'm going to place the glue here, and then it will fold. But you need to work it a little bit. It doesn't want to stay in that position, so you need to work it again 1/2 inch away from the outside and lining it up with the top. And you see it's getting loose, so I'm getting some double-sided tape here. Place it back in place, and I'm just going to put that double-sided tape under, and here I'm too close to the edge to cover it with my pattern paper. So just cut it away a little bit. So that's one side, and we are going to do the same thing on the other side. So those are the straps, it's on there. So this is the base, and now I'm also going to show you what I did with to make the tag. If you have the corner punch from your memory keepers, I think it's a tag punch, I'm not sure, then you can use that. That's the easiest way, but I don't have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my ruler on the side, and I'm going to make a mark 3/8 of an inch inwards on both sides. Let's do the sides first. And I always like to line it up, not on the edge, because then it's easier for me to do it. Like now I'm lining it up with the 1 inch, and then I'm going 3/8 of an inch inwards. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom on both sides. So 1, 2, 3. And on this side as well, 1, 2, 3. And if you're off a little bit, then also that's not a big deal. It's just so, just like that. And then I'm going to cut that away. You can erase your pencil marks if they're still showing a little bit. So that's the tag, and to decorate it, I have some pieces prepared, and let's see if I can find the right pieces for the tag. I think this is it. Yes. So this is going to be my front piece for the tag, and what I did is I got it 1/4 of an inch smaller than my tag. So this was 3 1/8, and this piece is 2 7/8, and this was 4 5/8. So I got this at 4 3/8. So now I need to also make those little cuts on the corner of this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up in the position that I want it, and then I can just eyeball it. That's what I do mostly. You can eyeball it, and you can also use a ruler to make it really perfect, but still you have a high chance that it's not as perfect as you would wish. So I'm just doing it like this, and if I'm off a little bit, well, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just inking those little corners. So that's one. And then I will do the same thing with my other piece. So now we can glue it down. And I'm always using little glue for my matting process. Just place it on here. So because I use so little glue, I don't have a lot of time to move the piece around. Give it a little burnish, and that's on there. And with that art glitter glue, I don't have to worry, it won't come off. Try to stay close to the edges and to the corner. I'm going pretty quick now. And I'm going to put that on here as well. So now, because I'm placing something on both sides, and I will do that on the whole project, you can choose to just place it with wet glue on one side and use double-sided tape on the other side, because you will warp the cardstock in the middle by using the glue on both sides. But you know, I'm using so little that I'm not really worried about it. So now I've got the shape of a gift card out of some cardstock, just for showing. So you can place your gift card on here, and you can easily use some double-sided tape. Just make 2 strips. Where is my beginning? There I go again. No, just a little strip like that. You can place it on the back of your gift card. And if you have replaceable glue or tape, then that's perfect. I don't have it, I'm out of it. So you would put that on there, remove your tape backing, and then just place it. And don't push on it too hard, because if you then it will get really stuck on your cardstock here. But just place it on there and leave it, and then you are able to take it off and put it back on there, because we are going to place this in the pocket. And let me get the other one, because that's I have a real gift card in there, and I did the same thing. So you are going to place it in here, and I hope I did a good job. Yeah. And see, now I need to place it a little bit further that way in order to have it perfectly centered. So don't push on it too hard, and then you're able to get it off. See, I did the same thing here with this gift card, and then I can place it a little bit further to that side and just get it where I want it. And now it's better, you see? So just don't push on it too hard, and then you will be fine. You are able to replace the gift card on your tag. So the other thing that I did was I made a little hole in there with a eyelet, and I had some twine in there, but then I didn't really like it, so I just removed that twine. But you could do it if you want. So I'm just going to make a little mark here in the center, get my crocodile, and I'm using my smaller hole, like 1/8 of an inch, because I have small eyelets. And I'm punching that hole. I'm just trying to find my pencil mark. Punch that hole in there. And then get a little eyelet. I have something here, just a silver one. Just get it in there, set it. Just set it a little more. I think I'm not on the right settings for this eyelet, but it's fine. So that's the tag. It can go in here. Oh, my eyelet is catching onto my little flap here now, because I didn't set it right. If you do set it right, then you don't have a problem. So that will go in there. So for the rest of the decorations, I have a piece here that's measured, I think it's 3 1/8 by 4 5/8. So that can go in here. So for gluing that down, I'm just going to glue one shorter side and 2 longer sides. My finger is in the way. And then I can place it in here. And just try to get it straight. But you don't have a lot of wiggle room with those measurements, so with my bone folder I'm just going to place it really in there. So it's that. Then I've got some strips. These are 3/8 of an inch strips. And I think the shorter ones are 3 inches and the longer ones are 3 3/8. So they are going around this window with the shorter ones on the sides. I don't really, these measurements, they don't provide for 1/8 of an inch border around the sides, around the piece, but on the windows I like it if the border is a little bit smaller. So the second one goes on the side here, and I'm doing this pretty quick now. Normally I would take my time a little bit more, but I don't want to bore you with me getting all the pieces on there precise. So then the larger one goes in between, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to line it up the edges here. Let's come down a little bit, just like that. So I have about 1/16 spacing in between my pieces. And on the top. So there we have that. So then I've also prepared my pieces for the flap. These are, I think, 3 inches by 1 inch. And rounded the corners. And you don't cover the 1/8 of an inch gusset. You just it's too small to cover it, and you are not able to cover it with a whole piece. So I have that same piece for the outside here. Again, just making sure I have a little border of black on all sides. Okay, so, and then for the other pieces on the inside, I have the Christmas trees again. So I just used 3 pieces of patterned paper. You can use scraps, pretty easy. On the other one, I just used 2 different pieces of patterned paper, just make it as cohesive. Give it a cohesive look. No, I'm not placing this right. I think my piece is a little bit too long, actually. I think I have the wrong piece here. Yep, I need to have this piece. They look alike. So let's get the right piece on there. That's better. And I see that I can still see some pencil marks here, so I'm going to erase those. And then this one on the top. And now these are a little bit in the way of laying it flat, so I'm just going to do it like this. And because I only have the glue on my edges, just when I go like this with my thumb, just put some pressure on it and I know I'm fine. Again, still a little pencil mark here. So that's the inside of the piece. I can place my tag in there with the, yeah, my eyelet isn't set properly, so. And we can fold that over and close this, but now this piece that I wanted to put on the inside goes over here. So again, some glue on there. Remove these tape backings. And I didn't cut a piece for the back, so let's see. So that's one. And then this one was going over here, yeah. Again, I'm going to remove the tape backing. So it comes together really quick. And of course I've cut everything in by forehand, so also the matting goes pretty quick now. So I know what I was doing, but so then we can close this up. And then with some I use my die cut machine, but you can use some punches as well. I've punched out a scallop just in black cardstock, and then I have two bigger circles, and I just wanted to have the choice between this one and with a smaller circle I just got out one of the Christmas trees. So I was thinking this one, or do I want to do it with this one? So I think that looks a little better as a piece, but this is coming back over here. So just make up your mind and do it already. No, I think the other one looks better. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this circle. Place it on top of the scallop, and I also ink the edges of these pieces. And then some glue on the smaller one. Try to get it centered, just eyeballing it a little bit. So that's that. And then I am going to use some foam tape to give it some dimension. Just placing it on there. Yep, that will fit. Take off the backing. Just didn't put that little one in the middle. I see that, and then just put it on here. Now, what you can also do is if you have a small stamp that says thank you or happy holidays or something like that, you can place a you can punch this out with white cardstock and stamp on it your sentiment on there. That would be cute as well. So what I was also thinking is you could place this underneath the Christmas tree or hang it in there even. But maybe you want to have you want to see on the outside who it's meant for. So I just made a little tag, and this was I think 1.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and I placed on one side some patterned paper, on the other side some white cardstock, and here you can write from to so who it's from and for who it is. And we could make a little hole here and just hang your tag on your purse, so you could do it over here, but I think it's a little bit small on this one of the straps, so I think it would be better if we would do it like in the corner over there. So, well, I only have my red twine, so how would I do that? I think I would make a hole here. I wouldn't put the pattern paper over here, but I'm going to do it now just for showing. So I have some, I only have this one. It doesn't really go with it, but it's just for showing purpose right now. So what I would do is just eyeball a hole in this top flap here, and I'm going to just give it a punch. So I have a hole there, and then let me see. Yes, I think I would just get some baker's twine and an eyelet. And maybe I have some whites. Yes, this is really small, but it goes better with it. So this is just crochet thread, I think. Let me see if I can find the end here. Yeah. And I will just make it double to make it a little bit bigger. Just okay. So I'm going to put this through the hole. And that's why I wouldn't have put the pattern paper on here. If you want to do this, you need to do that last. Just get through it, please. Okay. Then I can push my eyelet through the same hole. And you need to work it a little bit more because it will be tight. So I'm just going to make, I want it to be a little bit to the side, so this is fine. And I'm going to set that eyelet. Give it a good squeeze. Okay, so this is what you see now on this side, and that's obviously not what you want to see, but I think if I cut it really close to my eyelet, I will be fine. Don't see my small scissors, so I'm just going to do it like that. It's not too bad. So this is what I have now, and what I can do, I hope, is put it through the eyelet here, and then because I have quite the spacing, I can just get my tag through it. So it's a little bit long now, but okay, that doesn't really matter. You can make it a lot shorter, of course. Yeah, but this is what I have now, so I will just lay it like this, and you can put somebody's name on there. So make this shorter. Maybe you should place your tag on it before you, and then you can decide the length of your twine. So you just place your thread to on the tag, and then you can pull it through the hole here, and you know what size you want it. That will be a lot better, but you get the idea, I think. So that's it. I didn't have any pattern paper on the back yet, but I will do that afterwards. You just cut this 1/4 of an inch smaller than the back piece, so that would be, well, that would be 4.5 by 3, and then you can place it on here. So that's it. That's the gift tag holder that I was able to show you. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, give the video a thumbs up if you like it, and enjoy the rest of your day.